Cool. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. This is one of our monthly product spotlights. We're looking at the Schedule Manager feature today. So I'm Adam Belmo. I'm Papertrail Solutions Manager. I'm going to be doing the deep dive into the Schedule Manager feature, and then I'm going to pass off to my colleague Manny about PartnerHub, and we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. Okay, so Schedule Manager is a feature that enables you to have multiple inspection schedules on one record. So essentially you can combine your routine and statutory checks in one place. So if you're currently just managing your 6 monthly loaders or your 12 monthly statutory inspections, you could also add a weekly, daily, or any other sort of schedule you want to the same asset tracked in the same place. You can also assign the users access to each of those schedules if you know that you only have certain people doing your 6 monthly or your 12 monthly checks, but you want everybody to be able to do their daily or weekly checks. And you can still attach your certificates and reports on completion, the same as always. And you can have analytics on the records, which are all on the same inspection schedules. So I'm going to share my screen now and get into the actual demo. Okay, can you let me know when you can see my screen, everyone?
Yeah, all good.
Cool. Okay, so I've got a few records that I've created here. So I'm going to have a look at this harness. And you'll see normally we just track one frequency for inspections here, where it's currently just set to none. But you also see we have an inspection schedules area here, which is currently blank. But what I can do is go into our toolbox and show you how to create a schedule and assign it to a record. So I'm going to go out of here, I'm going to close up the folders, go into our toolbox and go to Schedule Manager. I've already created a few schedules here. I've created a daily, a monthly, and a 6 monthly one, but I'm going to create a new one to show you how it's done. So I'm going to call this one yearly. I can give it a little description here if I want to describe what it's going to be used for. Add a frequency. So I'm going to pick yearly. These frequencies are defined by your account. So from the frequency manager area within your toolbox, you can set your own frequencies. So I'm going to choose yearly, associate a checklist with it. Because this is a yearly check, I'm going to associate a couple to say I need to do my advanced thorough inspection, but also do a product specific inspection. I can also associate a certificate with it to say when this is completed, we should be generating this particular certificate. I can then choose which users it's assigned to. So at the moment, it's all users, which means everybody on the system will have access to it as long as they have permissions to do inspections. But I can also set it to just specific users if I wanted only my particular technicians to be able to perform these inspections. I've got some advanced options here where I can set what's going to happen if I do the check early or on time or late. So say, for example, you want it done on the 1st of the month, you can set it to calculate from the current next check date, and it will always keep that routine. If I set it to from inspection date, then if I did it 7 days early, it would be 12 months from that date in this particular example of a yearly frequency. So I'm going to create that schedule now. You'll see it's appeared on my list here. From this management area, I can see my existing schedules. I can add additional checklists or remove them. I can edit the certificates associated and the users who can have access to it. And I can quickly see how many records on my system have it currently applied. I'm then going to go back into my folders and have a look at my actual equipment. And I'm going to assign some schedules. So I'm going to do manage schedules here. And I'm going to pick these 3 schedules here. So I've got my daily, my monthly, and my 6 monthly. If I save those changes and wait a moment, they should then appear in this section here. So as you can see, rather than 1 frequency, which we'd previously track up here, we now have 3 in this section. Currently, there's not a next check date, but I could go in here and set one manually if I wanted to do it at a specific date for my first check. Or if I just run an inspection, it will then set the next check date based on whatever my settings were on the frequency. I can also assign inspection schedules in bulk. So if I go back to my folder page and select multiple items, from the drop down for our bulk actions here, I can do manage schedules and add them this way. It's just a quick way to add it to multiple records. So if you've got folders where you want everything in that folder to have the same schedule. I'm then going to show doing an actual inspection now that I've added these schedules. So I click my add inspection button the same way as always. Now I have a drop down for schedule rather than just picking the checklist. So I'm going to do a monthly thorough check. Again, this is the checklist that I've just made up to associate with this particular schedule. So same as always, I can tick through all of these. I can still add my comments and notes, create tasks, set the state, and add any comments for the entire overall inspection. I save that up. And again, as always, it's showing in the history here on the right-hand side. It shows that I've added the inspection, but it's also showing the schedule that I used to add that particular inspection. So now that I've added the schedule to a few records, I'm going to show how we can filter and actually group and have some analytics based off that. So if I go again into my toolbox on the left-hand side and then into Filter Manager, if I click Add New Filter, give it a name, I'm going to look for everything on a monthly schedule. So I'll pick Filter Types, Schedule of Monthly Thorough Check, and I only want to see ones where they're actually due. I'll save that up and I'll save changes. And you can create all sorts of filters here as well. There's not just for schedules, this filter manager. As you can see here, there's some of the default ones, but you can create and build your own filters here. I'm going to drag that up to the top just so it appears higher up on my list. And now when I go back into my dashboard, you'll see here that that filter that I've created, there's clearly two because I've done that as a test earlier, and I'll click into that. And I can quickly see all records on my system that meet that particular filter. So I'm going to go to record view. And you can see here it's the harnesses that I applied it to earlier, but also a few other items. So these schedules are not just necessarily one item specific. You could create a monthly schedule if it's just a once over check and apply it to all sorts of different assets on your system. And that is the basics of using the Schedule Manager. I'm going to also show you how to share something with PartnerHub and pass over to Manny. So to do that, I'm going to select a few of these items. And for those of you who've not used PartnerHub, it's our feature that allows you to share records between different subscriptions. So essentially between different Papertrail customers. So if you are getting third-party inspections done on your items, you can share them to a third party using the PartnerHub feature and set up a partnership so that you have two-way access to the same record. So any inspections that are done are all visible on one record from both sides. So we've previously set up a partnership here. So I've set this up with Manny. So I'm going to select that. But if I didn't already have that set up, I would just do my client isn't on the list. I would have to send an email link out through the system for them to accept, to confirm that partnership and allow me to share records in this way. So I'm going to click share. And that's now going to be winging its way across to Manny. So I'm now going to stop sharing my screen and hand over to him.
Perfect. All right, well, thanks for that, Adam. So now that Adam has shared his records with me, all I would now do is, first of all, go to my partner workspace. And there's two ways of getting to it. You can either click on the three dots and go to PartnerHub that way. Or if you actually use the side toolbar here, you can see you also have PartnerHub there. And if you click into it, you will see all of your active partnerships that you have with all your different suppliers, manufacturers, and any third parties, and also your customers. And if I hit the shared with me toolbox here, you can see I've got Adam's 5 records that he's shared with me. And if I click on the drop down, you can see the 5 harnesses are all there that have been shared with me. At this point, you can select all of the records or just the folder itself, and then move it into your folder structure within your account. So I want to move this into my PPE equipment management account. And I've got a folder here for Adam's lifting equipment, so I can put it into that. So once I hit next, they have now been successfully moved, and you'll see a green box come at the bottom of your screen. And now there's nothing here. So that means you've actioned everything that you need to do within PartnerHub. So if I go to my account and go into my PPE equipment management account and go to my folders, you can see, first of all, Adam's lifting equipment folders there, but you'll also notice that there is a blue handshake symbol. That means that either the folder or a record within this particular folder has been shared with yourself, or it's been shared to yourself by another account. So if we go into site 1, go into equipment and go into harness, you can now see the 5 harnesses that Adam has shared. And if we go into the first record, you'll be able to see all of the audit history of this particular record. So you'll be able to see all of the previous maintenance, inspections, and certificates that's been done on this particular harness. You're able to actually filter if you just want to see the certificates on the top bit here. So filter by all activity, inspections, notes, tasks, and certificates. So for hit certificates, you can see that Adam created the certificate today. And if I click into that, you can see here is the Lola cert that Adam has done this morning at 9:26 a.m. And it will show it's safe for use. Adam's done all the checks, and that's good to go. You can also then look at the inspections as well. So what inspections have been done to this particular harness before this record's been shared with you. You can see also that six monthly Lola schedule Adam had on his account with a Lola. A report of thorough examination has been done on this as well. And you can see the outcome of it, and it's obviously passed everything there. The only thing that doesn't get transferred over to your account is the schedule itself. So when Adam set his schedule on this particular record, he did it here, but that schedule is only available to Adam. So if you wanted to create your own schedule, you can at this point, the same way as Adam did. And that will only be visible to you, not Adam. So that's actually per account or per subscription. But what you are able to see is what the previous equipment inspection history is on this product or the harness. Sorry. Other than that, everything else is the same. So you can set your own frequency if you wish. Now, all of the manufacturer's spec is still transferred over, so you can see all the certs here, all the manufacturer's spec, and then also any manuals, guidelines, images of that particular piece of product have also been transferred over. So the idea here is that you both now have 2 views of the same record, essentially one single source of truth, but with multiple views on that particular record. The benefit of having this is, one, you don't have to now, it just removes sort of manual entry in terms of you no longer have to email someone over, the certificate itself, or, here's a link to the actual asset itself. There's no actual manual re-entry, so you don't have to add any more sort of input into it. Because it's been shared, all the information that you need has already been given to you. And now at this point, you both just have a record of the same account. So obviously what you can still do here is do your inspection as you would normally, and use the states there. You can create tasks and your comments that you need to add, and obviously any files as well. Other than that is now a shared record, and you can see that the blue symbol is there as well. So it's a shared record. Now, if you did want to also share this with one of your customers, you are able to do that by simply clicking on whichever record you want, or all of them in this case, going to the shared selected items and doing the exact same as what Adam did in terms of sharing it with one of your partners. You can see I've got a lot of dummy companies here, but the point is you can now share it with one of your customers or whoever it may be. Other than that, it will also again show in the activity on the right hand side of where you're sharing it to or where it's gone, just because if you ever get confused or you don't know where you've sent it to somebody, you can refer back to the audit trail here and it will tell you exactly where your record has gone and who you've shared it to with somebody. So that is PartnerHub in itself in terms of sharing the record. What we are currently doing at the moment is by the way, PartnerHub is actually free to use within your subscription. If you did want to share records with someone who isn't using Papertrail at the moment, what we are currently offering is for the first 3 months, a free trial of using Papertrail. So they'll be able to access Papertrail, use PartnerHub, see the records that you send to them, and then should they wish to continue using it after a 3-month period, we can then discuss how to sort of get them onboarded and work out some pricing for them. Other than that, that is pretty much it for PartnerHub. Again, yeah, just sharing the records, making it easier, and also it just removing sort of, the manual efforts and saving you time as well.
Thank you, Manny. I just wondered if anyone had any questions about Schedule Manager or PartnerHub that they wanted to ask now. You'll feel free to unmute if you do. Or if you want us to go over anything again.
The recording should be automatically shared with anyone on here as well. If anybody joined a bit later, you'll get a copy of that afterwards.
Yeah, one thing we didn't mention, Adam, is is Schedule Manager available for everyone at the moment?
It is, yeah. So that will be available to everybody at the moment.
Cool. Doesn't sound like there's any questions.
No.
Cool. Sounds like we answered everything.
Perfect, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us on today's webinar. We will be hosting another one next month, and we'll keep you guys updated in terms of what the topic will be. It'll be, again, another feature, I imagine, but we'll send out an email regarding more information closer to the time, and we look forward to seeing everyone on the next webinar.